use cases of Web3 through DePIN. This episode is brought to you by Natix Network, the world's largest camera infrastructure for mapping, autonomous driving, and physical AI. Ready to drive and earn? Check out the website right now at natix.network. Hello everyone, Daniel from DePINHUB here. Today we're interviewing Ting from SkyX, a pioneering company that's been transforming the weather data collection industry for many years now. SkyX is revolutionizing global weather forecasting by combining DePIN and advanced AI technologies, creating what they call the Starlink of weather. With over 15,000 weather-based stations sold and serving more than 100,000 long-term users across North America, Europe, Oceania, SkyX is reshaping how we collect, analyze, and utilize weather data for industries ranging from agriculture to disaster management. And they're another great project building on peak ecosystem as well. So thanks so much for joining the podcast today. I think we initially talked to Frank, which is the CEO, I guess a couple of years ago in Singapore, way before I think he was still trying to understand what's DePIN, if it makes sense. And it's very cool to see that SkyX decided to take the leap and then join the DePIN ecosystem and growing. And it's growing quite well, right? Yeah, let's get started by you introducing yourself and your background and your role at SkyX.
Sure. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It's a great honor to be here introducing myself and then SkyX and to you and your channel. And my name is Ting. I'm the head of ecosystem Europe at SkyX here. My role is to oversee investors relations, manage strategic partnerships, and lead the planning and execution of go-to-market strategies here across Europe market. And prior to joining SkyX, I've been in the crypto space since 2017. I also was as CMO at various companies, including GameFi and DeFi projects. I was also a journalist at Cointelegraph and the editor-in-chief at the Chinese version for Cointelegraph. So by heart, I'm a Bitcoin max, and I guess I ended up in DePIN projects here at SkyX.
Yeah, I think more and more I'm becoming like a Bitcoin maxi plus DePIN fan, right? I think those are the two verticals that I'm really excited about. Can you describe a little bit about the background, like the story behind creating SkyX? I think that's more on the Frank's, the CEO side, but like what led to the creation of this company?
Sure. I guess, you can imagine sort of like the story of Bitcoin, right? Imagine a global weather network that owned by the people and not corporations. And SkyX is built on a background like this and is a decentralized IoT data network where everyone can contribute to the hyperlocal weather data and using our sensors. And we allow anyone who is interested in this owning their personal weather stations and then earn token rewards, by contributing those data in the network. We also combining blockchain, AI, and professional grade hardware and devices to solve the silo problem, I guess, in the weather industry, where today's forecast is relied on fragmented and no quality sources. And so our goal is to democratizing that weather data, so farmers, logistic companies, or even your local event planners can get pinpoint accurate forecasts by using our network. Also, for the team background, Frank, our CEO and co-founder of the project, he came out from Silicon Valley, and his background is in weather stations. And we have a very strong team who has been working in this industry for a very long time. And thanks to the decentralization of blockchain and DePIN, and this is where we allow users to contribute also in the weather station.
That's really cool. I think the background of Frank as well. I really like when I talk to founders that don't come from the crypto angle. And I remember talking to him, and he was very skeptical actually about crypto. I think it took him some understanding how things work, going a little bit deep into taking the leap in joining like the DePIN movement, I think. But I think it's really exciting. I do have a SkyX weather station in my home and like outside, and it's something that I really like to check. And I really like the value that is actually bringing to me, because I can see, not just the wind, but the temperature, the humidity, the pressure. Can you picture a little bit more about how is the current weather stations ecosystem now in the world, right? There's just a few of them. They provide like very bad results? Like, what is the main issue?
Well, like right now, you can see whether data is either too like broad, like TV forecasts for entire cities, or locked behind expensive corporate systems. For example, IBM's weather company uses like 14K devices globally, but what if you could crowdsource millions? And so this is where SkyX comes in and tackles this problem by incentivizing users to deploy sensors, creating a denser and real-time network. Also, did you know that weather disruptions cost like businesses $500 billion yearly? And we see that with our model, a farmer, let's say in Iowa or a shipping company in Singapore can get like street level rain predictions, and so they can avoid losses. And so I think this is the main pinpoint that we're trying to resolve here.
Looking at the website, you have multiple devices, right? Going from like the most basic ones, the most expensive and more high precision ones. How do you see people actually deploying those devices? Are you actually the one deploying some of them for some specific needs? Do you think people are going to be spending, like thousands in devices, or they're going to focus more on the smaller ones to have more hyper localized weather stations?
Well, currently we have the Sky 100 sensor in the market, and this is the portable one for individuals to own them, install at the backyard, or even carry them around to collect the data from when they're going hiking or outdoor activities and etc. But we also will enroll a Sky 300 model. And that is going to be a professional grade data station. This will be more specific for, like other logistics. It will be bigger. It will contain like 3 different parts to collect like much more professional data in smart cities or remote areas. Both are collecting temperatures, humidities, and wind speed, and etc., and even sky images. And so when you upload this data to our blockchain powered network, where we integrating AI in cleans and analyzing this data, and then users can also earn like Sky tokens for contributing, and businesses will basically pay tokens to access this data. And so it's like Uber for weather data, and everyone wins. And so plus our hex grid system will ensures the coverage that isn't just in cities but also remote areas.
Would the people who own like the more expensive devices, they provide better data, so they earn more Sky tokens?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And for now, we are aiming to having the demo of this professional grade device by next month. And so you will see the details.
Are you guys going to be present in Token 2049 with this hardware?
I'm not sure if we can bring the whole station to the conference, but by then I'm sure we'll have a mod, like a demo enrolled out, and where we can showcase online.
So, okay, right. So this is my station. You can see here, it's a bit blurry, but it's a really, really nice device. It's very solid, has a little wind sensor on the top, and then it comes with like a solar panel so they can attach that on the wall. It can power this device. In my case, it's connected to my Wi-Fi, so it's just connected through what I have at home. But it's a super solid device, and I love just having this in my house, really seeing, what's the weather outside, how things are going, because I love data. And one question that I have is, like, there are other DePINs out there. They're measuring like the weather station as well. There's like WeatherXM, there is Nubila, etc. How do you guys differentiate from them in this sense?
Well, that's a very good question. We get a lot of questions also from from everyone. I think one thing is we will have the professional device, and none of these projects will have them. So that's one major differences that it's here. And another thing is like other projects, they're focused only on the hardware or the raw data sales, but we go beyond that. We have AI powered system where it turns the raw numbers into actionable forecasts. For example, we can tell like a farm, let's say, irrigate your field by 3 p.m. tomorrow. So I think that's pretty cool. And the second is we are multi industry use for our data will fit into also DeFi weather derivatives and our smart sprinkles, and we'll even have feature where allow disaster alerts. And so yeah, and we for our pro stations we even have a rain guard, like a rain 01 that will be the name of the device, and we will support like diverse needs for that. And so we're not just a sensor network, we're a full stack weather economy here. So I think that sums up our differences.
Natix Network is revolutionizing the mapping in autonomous driving industries with its proprietary AI and Internet of Cameras. With over 244,000 registered drivers and 153 million kilometers covered, Natix is the biggest mapping DePIN network globally. Natix mobile app Drive uses drive assistant apps, example dashcams and navigation, token incentives, computer vision AI, and smartphone cameras to crowdsource real-time data, creating an open geospatial intelligence network that rewards users for its contributions. Natix recently introduced the VX360, a device for Tesla owners to access, manage, and monetize their car's 360 imagery and offer a game-changing solution for the future of mapping and autonomous driving. Own a Tesla? Head over to natix.network now and score your VX360 to have a chance to earn a bonus 100,000 Natix tokens. Use the code DEPINHUB and score an additional 12% off. Check the links in the description and let's go. Can you talk a little bit about the tokenomics as well, in terms of the business model of SkyX and how you can grow the token price over time?
So for the token, we will have 1 billion tokens in total supply. But 40% of these tokens will reserved for our station rewards. So it's for our miners who contribute on the daily, and they will earn the Sky token on an hourly basis. And we have the halving also by yearly, and so this will reduces the supply on a yearly basis with the halving. And our early adopters, of course, will cash in and will get rewards more if you're early adopters, early miners, let's say. And so we also we have a boost reward system where professionals devices, like we mentioned, will get more accurate data, better data in more remoted areas. And so this will allow them to also earn more tokens, and for underserved locations, of course. And then you can buy local data, and we allowed the token to also have the access to our APIs and vote on network upgrades. So we'll have a governance system that integrated in the token usage. And so that's the three, I would say, like the three main points I would like to mention here. And we have already upgraded our white paper, and the details, the token page is also there. And you can just go to our website, click learn more, and click the documentation, and you will see all the details there.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely need to catch up on that documentation. Because how is SkyX already on the business side? Like, forget about the crypto, more on the B2B side, B2C. Do you already have customers? Do you plan to do like a token buyback and burn on with that revenue?
Yes, for sure. That is one of the models that we have to buy and burn, to cut the, have the balance on the supply and demand side where the token price can be sustainable. So that's definitely one of the features that we have. In terms of your question regarding what we have on the B2B side, we are working with our partners to partnership with local governments, and we're in constantly talking with insurance companies and also agricultural industries, and even airlines are one of our priority business partners in this sense. So yeah,
I really like when projects have this buyback mechanism. I think it's a very good one. There's a lot of companies that don't think about that, and that's how on the long term, that's how usually I believe that you reward the token holders and the token price by actually having money flowing from outside of crypto into Web3, into SkyX because of that. I think that's pretty cool. How long have SkyX existed?
Well, we started a couple years ago already. The devices we have, let's say, orders earlier last year, and then we started to having the devices that shipping out to people by earlier this year, in January. So yeah, I think we've been here. Of course, the company who makes these devices have been existing for more than 3 years, and Frank and the team started the weather stations business in the Silicon Valley more than 2 years ago. So yeah.
And what are your main, let's say, challenges and focus right now?
The challenge, I think, is to always is to grow our community, in regions like Europe and America, and then we'll expand Asian market and also Africa market. So the challenge is always how to educate people in the DePIN space and how to get them involved. User acquisition, I guess, to get more people signed up and owning their devices and contributing the data in the network. I think that's the main challenge.
Your main focus right now?
So the main focus right now is to having more people to sign to get their hands on the device, and then enroll out our professional device by next month. Also fundraising, and then focusing on token launch.
I mean, for you out there in your home, in the car, anywhere that you're listening or watching this podcast, make sure to check how cool this device is. It's super nice. And we made a really nice deal with SkyX because it's a project that I'm really, really passionate about. And I really like the founder, what they're doing. And I believe that it's going to be massive. So I would like to invite you to go to DePINHub.io/project/SkyX, or just look for SkyX on the website. And there's a little banner there that you can buy these devices. I think it's like a $40 off the device. So it's a massive discount. So make sure to go and buy this because everyone should have one of these at home because, why not? It's DePIN, earns the rewards, pay for itself, and it's just a really nice device to have at home. So, when your wife asking what's the weather outside, you can just look and actually give her an exact amount, not just like whatever, your phone is saying is completely wrong most of the time. Anyway, DePINHub.io/project/SkyX. Going back to the questions, what is your goals for the next, let's say, 6 months to, 3 years?
For the next 6 months, we'll have, hopefully we'll deploy 5,000 plus stations globally. And then soon our AI will predict flash floods or wildfire risks, and for the long term. That's our long-term goal. And we're also adding like air quality sensors and partners with the smart cities. And so in 5 years, our vision is to aim for power like 10% of the global forecasts, and all while paying like users for their data contribution. And that's our vision for the future of weather. For the next 6 months, let's go back to our short-term vision here. Our short-term goal is to launch our professional Sky 100 station, looking for partners globally to showcase our professional station, and then the TGE.
And you guys are building on Peak, right? What makes you excited about that blockchain? How was the process of choosing a project to build on? Because there's so many right now. I do personally think that Peak's a great one that's very focused on real world projects, but I'd like to hear from you.
It's a no-brainer for us to choose Peak because it really is solid with their technology. It's secure. It provides great blockchain solutions for what we are looking for. And plus I really love what they're doing, which is really going into the social impact. If you look at all the projects that have been built on top of Peak, it's really providing something that it's for social impacts. And I love their branding. I really love their focus. And then also they're here in Europe. Their developers are here in Europe. And they have great connections with the governments, and also the NGOs. And really, I see their vision is to not only providing the technology that is needed in the DePIN space, but also tapping into making a real change. And so that's what we're excited about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this idea just like not being just 100% focused on the Web3 world, but Web3 should be just one aspect of trying to change the world, in revolutionizing the decentralized infrastructure world that we're trying to build together, right? And I mean, one thing they were mentioning, the fact that you need to get more people on the project, more people on that, more eyes on the project, more people to know and get those devices. I think that's why we're here in DePINHub, to really try to help projects that we believe are really, really exciting. If you're listening to this, make sure to check SkyX, because you can see on this interview how early you are. There's like a lot of extra new projects, new devices that are coming in the next few months and years. I really think that the air quality station is going to be a pretty good one. And I think the composability between DePIN projects now, if you just look even on Peak ecosystem, you have Silencio with the weather station, with like map metrics that we had last week on the podcast, like last 2 weeks on the podcast. There's so many cool things on the composability side, and I think that Peak is really bringing a lot of excitement on the DePIN space. Happy that you guys are also working with them. They're good friends, and I'm really bullish on what they're building. But anyway, just want to remind everyone to go to SkyX on DePINHub and make sure to get one of those devices, because for now, I don't know how it's going to last, but we managed to get $40 off the devices. So it's a pretty good deal. Ting, anything else would you like to tell our listeners?
Well, I'd just like to add on the device, that Sky 100 device. There's a beautiful light device, and you'll love it. So visit DePINHub website, get early and get the discount and own one for your home. And my final thought, let's wrap it up with this, like weather affects everyone. And we see that today's system is no longer serving what is changing in today's way with DePIN. So we're here to change. We're here to make a difference, and you can own your data and you can share in its value. And so whether you are a miner or a climate scientist or just hate to getting caught in the rain, and so SkyX will put the power of prediction in your hands. So please get a device and follow us.
And let's start building the world that we would like to see. Well, thanks so much for joining the podcast. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And I'm very excited to see the future of SkyX and get you on the podcast again in a few months or a year or so to see the progress, how things are going. It's just such a nice project. Everyone should just get one. I think that's just the basic thing.
We'd love to come back when we launch our Sky 300.
Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. Well, thanks so much. And if you're listening out there, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, on iTunes, anywhere that you listen to this. And also check Hotspotty on Twitter. And yeah, just be on top of DePINHUB because we have a lot of cool things coming all the time. Thanks so much. Have a great week and talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.